Straight ahead on 12 News, saying goodbye to a popular principal.
He has a great sense of humor.
A principal who doesn't mind having fun connecting with students. Plus, what some Maple Grove Elementary students are doing to help bees and butterflies. But first, Hennepin County reports a spike in child abuse cases. What can be done to address the problem? 12 News starts right now. Hello everyone, and thanks for joining us. Reports of child abuse cases in Hennepin County are on the rise, and as a result, caseworkers are overwhelmed.
Brooklyn Park's police chief is on a committee that is tasked with overseeing the work of Child Protective Services. Delane Cleveland spoke with him today about what needs to be done to help improve the situation. Delane?
Mike and Alex, Police Chief Craig Envoldson says it's tough to put an exact number on the amount of cases in Brooklyn Park, but officers probably deal with about 2 abuse cases a month. Meanwhile, he says the county has a lot of work to do in terms of trying to find shelter space for kids in abusive situations. But one of the biggest improvements made by the county was making child protection workers available to police 24/7.
What happens prior to there being 24/7 response is if it happens on a weekend or overnight, we were tasked with trying to determine when that child's medically cleared by the hospital, where do we take that child? And again, because we're not experts, sometimes we would locate family members, friends, that kind of thing, and just release the child there.
Chief Envoldson was asked by Hennepin County Commissioner Mike Opat to participate in a child abuse oversight committee. Last year, the county board authorized money to hire nearly 100 child protection workers, but they still have more than 30 positions that need to be filled. And this year, cases of child abuse have gone up. County officials say hiring more staff is a short-term strategy, but this isn't a problem that can be solved by adding more caseworkers.
In Minnesota, if our response is to build a bigger child protection system, I think we've lost the vision, because really what we need to do is build capacity in communities and in the networks that naturally support families to provide those supports where the families live and where the youth are, instead of driving people into a safety protection system.
In the meantime, the county is trying to come up with emergency shelter space for children that need a safe place. One option is to encourage people to become foster parents. For information on how to do that, you can go to our website at 12.tv. Mike?
All right, thank you. A Plymouth family awoke early Wednesday morning to sounds of a fire that caused extensive damage to their home.
A passerby saw fire at the home on Quaker Lane and made sure that everybody inside got out safely. When firefighters arrived, flames were shooting out of the roof. The homeowner ran a barbecue business and had a large number of propane tanks in the garage. Several vehicles also caught fire, adding extra elements of danger for the firefighters.
It's not the gasoline issue, it's the shocks. Really, it's the shocks and the struts, those gas capsules coming at us. There was also some significant fire load in the garage, some propane, again, based on the business, the home business with the barbecue. They had some propane and some welding supplies that some of those tanks are also very dangerous for us.
The cause of the fire is under investigation, but firefighters believe it started in the garage. The house is likely a total loss. Fortunately, nobody was hurt.
A Minneapolis man gets jail time for a punch that led to the death of a Brooklyn Park man last summer. Roosevelt Garnell Johnson was sentenced to 1 year in the workhouse for hitting Anthony Lloyd during a fight in the Zanebrook Shopping Center parking lot. According to the criminal complaint, Johnson admitted to punching Lloyd, saying Lloyd pushed him first. Lloyd fell to the ground and hit his head on the pavement. He died the next day. And as part of his sentence, Johnson must write a letter of apology to Lloyd's father and pay more than $13,000 in restitution.
The list of candidates for Brooklyn Park City Council now stands at a baker's dozen. 4 candidates beat Tuesday's 5 p.m. filing deadline, increasing the number of candidates for 3 open seats to 13. There are 7 candidates who filed for the West District Council seat, 3 for the Central District seat, and 3 filed to represent the East District. No incumbents are running, and because of the number of candidates who filed, a primary will be held in August to trim the field. It is the end of an era at Rice Lake Elementary School in Maple Grove.
A longtime principal Mark French is leaving for Gatewood Elementary in Hopkins. Eric Nelson has more on the departure of a very popular principal.
Rice Lake is an amazing community.
Whoa! Mark French is leaving quite a legacy after 11 years at Rice Lake.
We've really enjoyed having him here, and we'll miss him a lot.
Yeah, we're going to be really sad.
Those who know French gush about his ability to connect with parents, students, and teachers.
Mr. French is awesome.
Yeah.
He is great to work with as a parent. He always is open and listening to what our concerns are.
He lets us do our job and isn't a big micromanager, and so we have a really well-oiled, wonderfully run building here.
But French is quick to point out that the school's success is a team effort.
The next principal will enter working with a very effective, engaging staff. The students and the families are supportive and wonderful.
Hello, gentlemen. How are you?
French often mingled with students and was a bit of a cut-up.
He has a great sense of humor.
Seeing him dressed like Elmo or wearing other costumes was a common sight at Rice Lake. French even had an impact away from the school.
I took the opportunity to cook dinner and have meals at parents' homes.
Thank you.
One of French's hallmarks was thinking outside the box.
He picks a student out every day, has them come into the office. They call mom, they call dad and say, yes, your son's here at the principal's office with me today, but it's a good news call of the day.
Co-workers tried to give French a going-away party, but he balked at that idea. French did not want any splashy send-offs.
To leave quietly is what I'm most comfortable with.
Didn't want any giant fanfare, no big reception or, elaborate party.
So while students and staff are saying goodbye to Mark French, Rice Lake is focused on its next principal. The school hopes to have that decision made by the middle of this month. In Maple Grove, I'm Eric Nelson, Channel 12 News.
French spent 18 years in the Osseo School District and won the Minnesota National Distinguished Principal Award in 2015.
All year long, students at another Maple Grove school have been learning about the decline of bees and monarch butterflies. Today, students headed outdoors to try and make a difference.
I feel super excited that we're planting and just helping pollinators live, because most of the pollinators are endangered.
120 fifth graders from Weaver Lake Elementary in Maple Grove gathered on the nearby Boston Scientific campus to plant a native prairie habitat. The students wrote letters to Boston Scientific to ask if they could build a prairie on the business site that would attract monarch butterflies and other pollinators. Bees and butterflies are on the decline due to a loss of their natural habitat, and that's a problem because pollinators play a vital role in our food supply.
30% of our food supply is due to pollination. So without pollinators, we lose 30% of the food that we eat. So if you were to walk into the grocery store, we wouldn't have the fruits and vegetables that we're used to eating, and all of those healthy foods are pollinator dependent.
Employees from Boston Scientific have volunteered to maintain the prairie, and students will come back to the site in the years to come to research whether it's having an impact on the population of pollinators. Coming up, several days for deals in Robbinsdale. That's next in Money Savers.
And then later in sports, a great game between Armstrong and Hopkins in the Section 6 softball tournament. We'll have the highlights.
But first, sunny and spectacular on Thursday. We'll be right back. This weekend will be a great one to catch a deal in Robbinsdale.
Now, for the third year, residents are taking the idea of a garage sale to a whole new level. It's also a perfect time to add color to your yard. Reporter Shannon Slatton explains what you can expect in today's Money Savers.
The gardens around the Robbinsdale Historical Society are meticulously cared for by members of the Robbinsdale Diggers, one of the largest garden clubs in the state. On Saturday, they will host their biggest fundraiser of the year here, offering plants to buy and advice for free.
We've got lots and lots of plants this year. We've got a lot of shade plants and also a lot of sun-loving plants.
But this sale isn't the only one you'll find in Robbinsdale this weekend.
If they're coming to the plant sale, they'll see that the other sales are going on, so you know, it kind of works hand in glove there.
It will be garage sales galore on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday for the 3rd annual RobbinSale.
2, 3, and 4. So June 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Too good to miss. 3 whole days, 4 square miles. That's our deal.
Andy Watson has one of the 70 sales registered so far, but that number is likely shy of the total number of sales after people decide to roll up their garage and put items out for people to buy.
This weekend, you'll be able to go around and not go more than 2 or 3 blocks without seeing a well-organized, you know, populous garage sale.
The sale is in its 3rd year, and while you might be able to find a good deal on a block near you, Andy says the best deal is what money can't buy. The RobbinSale is a community builder.
Neighbors who hadn't talked to each other, you know, a common purpose.
In Robbinsdale, Shannon Slatton, 12 News.
And you can download a map online or pick one up at one of 3 map centers. And we have posted details on our website. That's 12.tv. Well, coming up, something that tastes sour but turned out really sweet for a Plymouth photographer.
But first in sports, the Champlin Park and Maple Grove baseball teams get their playoffs started. John Jacobson has that and much more when we come back.
Pretty good baseball in the Northwest Metro this spring, and you know, Maple Grove is one of those good teams.
One of those teams looking to advance far in the playoffs, and they certainly could do it. It's been a good season for the Maple Grove baseball team. The Crimson is looking for a state tournament appearance for the first time since 2011. Maple Grove hosting Buffalo in a Section 8 4A first-round game Tuesday, first inning. Maple Grove gets on the board. Isaac Collins comes home on the ground up, makes a nice slide in there to avoid the tag. 1-0 Crimson. It's 2-0 MG in the 3rd until Josh Fussey's base hit brings home Mitch Gabrielick. Buffalo cuts the lead in half. Top of the 5th, the Bison draw even. Ethan Solfker with a fly ball over the right fielder. Hunter Brings scores, and it makes it 2-all. The Crimson get a clutch hit in the bottom of the 5th. Brett Schultz drives in Collins. Maple Grove takes the lead back. And Schultz pitches well in relief, getting the strikeout here. To end the game, Maple Grove advances with a 6-2 victory. In other games, Osseo is shut out by 2nd seed St. Michael Albertville 4-0, while Rogers loses 3-2 to Elk River. In games Thursday, Osseo plays at Rogers in an elimination game, while Maple Grove hosts Brainerd in a winner's bracket semifinal. Elk River and STMA play in the other semi. Champlin Park is ranked number 1 in Class 4A, and the Rebels are the top seed in Section 5 4A. They open section play against Spring Lake Park. Rebels will get one early. Jeff Wayloggy lifts a high pop fly that drops in. A little Texas leaguer here. He'll score Riley Johnson with a run in the bottom of the 1st. Champlin Park pitcher Aaron Klepner delivers with a bat, smoking one to the fence in the 2nd inning. Alex Backridge scores for a 2-0 Rebels lead. Next batter, Johnson smacks a hard grounder past the diving 3rd baseman, brings Klepner in to make it 3-0 Rebels through 2. Game stays close, but the Rebels are never threatened. Zach Loven rips a single to right center to plate Cal Hansen to push Champlin Park's lead to 4-0 in the 3rd inning. They tack on one more in the 6th. Jordan Sedleski will single to right to score Loven. Champlin Park wins 5-0. They're playing Centennial today at Wintercrest Park in Coon Rapids. Also in Section 5, Park Center falls to Moundsview 9-0. The Pirates are in the losers bracket play this afternoon. 2nd seed Totino Grace beat Irondale, and they are facing Moundsview. In softball, the last 2 unbeaten teams in the Section 6 4A tournament met up as surging Armstrong met top seed Hopkins. Hopkins takes the early lead. Brenna Fox line into right center scores the 2nd run of the 1st inning for the Royals, and they lead 2-0 after 1. Armstrong gets the offense going in the 3rd. Adriana Martinez with a fly ball to shallow center field. Joyce Yellowhammer tags up and just beats the throw, and it's a 2-1 game. A few hitters later, Caitlin Jones drives it to deep left, and this is gone for a 3-run homer to put the Falcons in the lead for the first time at 4-2. But the Royals aren't done. Hopkins pitcher Mackenzie Merritt comes through with the bat, driving a 2-run homer over the fence and left, evening the score at 4-4 in the top of the 5th. To the bottom of the 7th, with a runner on 3rd, and Maddie Clare delivers Lining a hit to center to score the winning run. Armstrong wins 5-4. They're in a section final after winning just one game all last season.
Last year we would think that this would be the chance right now. It's definitely something that is good for our program, and I'm very happy that we are doing as well as we are, especially with it being my senior year. It's, you know, it's a good note to end on.
Thursday, the Wayzata Edina winner from Wednesday takes on Hopkins at 1 o'clock. Armstrong meets the winner of that game. Then at 3 o'clock Thursday, Armstrong needs one win to take the section title. If they lose the second game, for the championship will be played on Friday. Local track and field athletes are competing in section meets this week. On this week's Sports Jam show on Channel 12, Jay Wilcox profiles Armstrong 100 and 200 meter star Evan McClellon. Here's a bit of that story.
His head coach thinks Evan has a shot to win both races at state.
I think so. What's good about Evan is how he's prepared. And Coach Weaker does a great job of training him, and we're prepping him for this event. So hopefully the weather aligned and everything aligned for him to have a good chance at winning state and as also breaking a state record.
While he's always been fast, it was about a year ago that McClellon really started to realize that his speed could take him places, like to college.
Probably my junior year, and going to Florida for nationals. And that's what got me oh snap, I can actually make it somewhere if I keep doing what I'm doing.
You can watch the rest of the Evan McClellon story and more on Sports Jam. It's on through Wednesday at 3:30, 6:30, and 9:30 p.m. on Channel 12. Set a state record in the 100 last week. So having a good spring.
All right. Thanks, John. Coming up, an idea that turned into a masterpiece.
How a childhood curiosity turned into a really sweet deal for a Plymouth photographer. We'll be right back. Well, finally, a sweet ending to a project about cranberries.
The Midwest Book Awards recognized Plymouth photographer Wayne Martin for his book, Cranberries Revealed. He was the only finalist to win in multiple categories, and that's pretty impressive for a first-time book author. Martin grew up in central Wisconsin, the heart of the cranberry industry, and he was inspired by the beautiful marshlands where they grow. At first, Martin had doubts about publishing a book. Talk about validation. Way to go. That's wonderful.
Beautiful.
And that's all the news for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
And we will see you back here again Thursday starting at 4.